Hello, everybody. My name is Sean Cacao alongside Vinny Mascol for episode 2 of This Week in WWE, brought to you by S&V Sports. That is our names. um, so, we have a lot to get to today. Lots to talk about. We're going to talk about last week's Monday Night Raw, last week's SmackDown. I'll talk about the Bloodline story and Elimination Chamber predictions. So, a lot to get to. First of all, Vinny, I'll get started with you. We're just gonna hop right into it. What are your thoughts on this past week's Monday Night Raw?
Um, Raw was, by the way, I am liking having Michael Cole and Pat McAfee back, by the way.
I
Just,
am too. Although I don't know, a
I'm
lot of
pretty,
people seem a little disappointed with Pat. I don't get why.
he's the same.
He's the
I don't know.
same. I mean, you could kind of tell a little bit in the Rumble that he hadn't been watching, but I didn't care because I still think he's entertaining. I love
He's
Pat
the same
McAfee.
guy. He's the same guy. Same guy. I don't get it. So I thought that it was interesting that Jay and Kofi got together. Jay, Kofi, and the
And the New
Jay
Day, yeah,
and the New Day together. That
uh-huh.
was an interesting
Yeah, it's weird
dynamic.
seeing them together
Um,
through all the
and the
years of the
fact that
rivalry.
they did he did kind of a cutter like kind of
Yeah,
move at the toward and that I I think they actually did well together.
they
I don't
did.
know if they had been like, working together a lot, but
Mhm.
man, um I'm liking the whole Lashley Street Profits thing with against what do you call it? Against the A what is it? What are they called? Uh the Ellering group from that was in
Oh,
TNA. That was in not TNA, but in
I don't
NXT
I don't remember the
and
name.
Karrion Cross,
Yeah. Oh my goodness, I literally know this too, and
the
I
two
can't
big
think of the name.
dudes,
But I know the Final Testament. Isn't that
the
their
Final
name?
Testament.
Yes.
Yeah. I kind of want to call them the APA, but they're not. They're not.
The
They're not even
AOP.
close
That's
to
what you
the
were thinking of.
AOP.
The Authors of
Yeah,
Pain.
because I was like the APA. No, that's Bradshaw, and
Yeah.
that's a long time ago. I'm like dating myself. Um, but I thought that was good. I mean, overall, I think Lashley versus Reed was okay.
Mhm.
Um, you kind of, but the funny thing is when you look at these matches, I can call who's going to win.
Yeah, it's very predictable.
It's very predictable. Like even like I know we're going to go over SmackDown, but I knew like all those matches. Um, other than like I think it wasn't no Sammy and Randy was the week before, right?
Mhm.
I couldn't. That one was a little tougher because I didn't know. I mean,
Yeah.
you kind of knew Randy was going to win, but I kind of I hated that they're leaving Sammy out. But
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't think these qualifying matches are very.
They were very predictable. Like
Yeah,
you
I'm
look
not
at
really.
some of the matches. I think honestly the most unpredictable one probably was Randy and Sammy, but the rest
Yeah,
of them, it's like you knew
yeah.
LA Knight was
Liv
gonna
and
be there.
Zoe, Liv and Zoe. You
You knew
kind of
Liv
knew
was
that
gonna be
Liv was going
there,
to be there, right? Um,
and
I
that's
don't
the other thing. We
know,
still do have one more qualifying match for
right?
the women's chamber.
Oh,
So
and by the way, our truth is just the gift that keeps on
our
giving. So,
truth is easily the
I
best
mean,
return from Survivor Series. I
he's
do not care what
oh
anyone
my
says.
god, he is just I kind of wanted them to keep the bloodline. I mean, not the bloodline, but the Judgment Day thing going. Just
He's
to,
like honestly,
uh,
he's like an off-brand Sami Zayn
he's
to the
so good.
bloodline, and I love every second
He's
of
so,
it.
and he's a good wrestler.
He is. I
He's a
wish
good
they'd utilize him
wrestler.
properly in the
I
ring.
remember when he was in
Awesome truth.
when they were Ultimate Troop, but even before he went to WWE, was he TNA?
I think so. I don't really remember much because I was 4 or
He
5 years old at that
I
time.
watched him a long time before he got into the WWE, and he was really good. He was like
Yeah.
more he was a little more serious though.
Well, yeah. I mean, his character was always serious until recently. I
Yeah.
think my father kind of described it best. The best way you can analyze character now was he took too many bumps to the head. I truly think that's
That's
the
true.
best way to look at that.
That's true. And
But
the fact that, DIY kind of saved him, I was like, oh, okay, DIY. They're trying to push DIY on us,
yeah,
a little too much, I think. I'm not really a big DIY guy.
not
So I think they're
anymore
trying to,
anyway.
I think they're trying to, I think Triple H is trying to push them. Um, on us really, and I'm not really liking it.
Yeah.
Um,
So I'll ask you about this, unless you have anything else to get to for Raw.
no, not
The
really.
big thing that came from Raw, the big story advancement in the main event between.
I mean, Rhea and Nia. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Totally
We'll
kidding.
get to that
Totally kidding.
match,
Totally
but
kidding. Totally kidding.
I want to talk about the main event between Cody and Roman because this week we took a big step, and
Yeah.
we learned that. See, it's interesting because
You
my
mean the
initial
fact that
thought,
everybody got worked but me, and I knew it was going to happen? No, I'm just kidding.
yeah.
Again, I kid.
So it's interesting because I think everybody originally thought the way that this Bloodline was going to the Bloodline story was going to progress, was Roman was going to have no more backup because he was going to lose the Bloodline. Now, obviously, didn't happen.
Nope.
The way it's looking now is the way Cody finishes his story. Because I'm still, unless you disagree, I think Cody wins at Mania. The way I look at it is
That's a tough thing to say,
Cody's going
though.
to have
I think it's tough.
backup, and we learned that his first backup, the only man that's capable of being his shield, the architect, the visionary, Seth freaking Rollins. I like it personally. I know you may disagree, but I
I'm
think I know I just
I'm gonna
kind of
throw
spoiled
I'm
that.
gonna throw
But
a wrench. I'm gonna throw a wrench into your thing. Just go ahead.
here's how
Keep
I
going.
see. So here's how I see this. It's very obvious the route that they're going down because the bloodline's gotten stronger, and we saw that on Friday. It's going to turn into Seth, Sammy, and Jay. Those, in my opinion, it's gonna be those three to back up Cody because obviously the Bloodline's now got Solo, Jimmy, and Rock. So it's four on four basically. You know,
Right.
it's technically Cody versus Roman. In reality, it's a 4v4 match. But
Right.
I think that's the route they're heading down. I think it was interesting how Seth alluded to the Shield and he kind of blames himself for
Yeah.
Roman's
The
success.
chair shot. The chair shot heard around the world.
Yes, but he blames himself for giving Roman the ego, the power, you know. And I thought it was interesting how in the hype video on Friday from that promo, they alluded to the Shield a lot. Even showed pictures of Dean Ambrose, which I was actually surprised in. But
Yeah.
it's interesting. You know what? This makes more sense because if Cody was going into this alone, there's no way it would make sense for Cody to win the match.
Yeah.
I want your thoughts on this whole segment.
So I mean I do like it. I was kind of disappointed that we didn't see Triple H at all. Like when the I and you know like how they set it up is Seth and Cody are going to have their time, and then the Bloodline's going to have their time, and then they may intermix the two eventually, where they possibly bring in Triple H as far as because there's a little unfinished business I think I want to see between The Rock and Triple H.
Yeah, but
At
even
least
then,
at least not fighting wise, but just words.
well,
Just
supposedly I was reading a story this morning before we got on that they may post Mania go with the storyline over a power control
yeah.
between The Rock and Triple H. I don't know how they exactly execute that.
Well,
If Triple H,
they do it like the corporation or the
the,
authority,
the authority versus,
except the opposite way.
yeah. So
Whereas,
a couple routes that could go down.
yeah, but do you really think, and I want to get your opinion on this. Do you think Seth is being 100% like truthful with
I
everything that
see the
Cody and
theory you're
him,
looking into.
with everything that Cody and Seth have been through? Do you really think that this is just like, oh, I'm gonna be your shield, blah blah blah. He already turned on the shield.
I'm gonna say
What's to say that he doesn't turn on Cody?
no.
Not right away because we
Yeah,
got to see Rock
we got
and
to see.
Roman
Well, we got
versus
to see the story end first
right.
for Cody.
But
I
I
disagree.
guess maybe I'm going ahead of myself. But
I disagree because in the end, Cody and Seth right now are the two biggest baby faces in WWE right now. And one of the things that I was going to allude to later, but I'll just jump to it now. WWE is at an all-time high right now in terms of ratings and storyline. Everything right now in WWE is must watch in my opinion.
mhm.
But with every what's the best way to put it? with every opportunity for WWE to go up, there's still that aftermath. Can WWE maintain its viewership? It's on the. I'm trying to word this best I can. It's hard to put into words, but post WrestleMania 40, obviously we're trying to set up for the biggest WrestleMania of all time. Can they keep that going post WrestleMania? That's tough to do. It's happened before where you finish some massive storylines and WWE could have a hard time maintaining some of those stories. You get what I'm trying to get at here? I
Yeah,
don't.
no, I get it.
I'm
I get
trying
it.
to explain it as best as
I
I
get it.
can.
No, I get it. I get what you're trying to say. I'm just, I I think in order for this storyline to work, and maybe I'm 100% crazy. I think you got to look at what the future of the storyline is going to be, because like, yeah, we've get taken that turn already, and the Rock's writer is saying, this is only chapter 1.
Yeah,
um i'm
that's why I
i'm
say this goes past Mania.
I'm not liking this Rock heel turn as much as I liked the first Rock, the whole like singing Rock thing. I thought that was
Yeah,
hilarious. I thought that was great.
yeah,
But
it
you
was a
also had
funny
a guy
segment.
like but you also had a guy like Stone Cold, who basically, him and the Rock played off each other.
Yeah,
I don't think you have that anymore. I don't think you
hmm
have that dynamic. I think the Rock is the best promo guy, you know, in wrestling. And I mean, he's the best promo guy we've ever seen, other than obviously me. I think Stone Cold was.
the best.
People are gonna
That's
say,
debatable, but
call me
I
crazy,
can see where you're coming from.
but I don't think he has an equal as far as promos go.
Hmm Okay.
But that being said, I don't like this version as much as I like the other one, but that doesn't mean to say that I don't like it totally.
hmm
I'm just, I don't know. I just want to see where it goes. I want to see where it goes before I
Well,
make any,
yeah,
I don't want to make any judgments yet before,
yeah,
because we all
because
know what
we've
happens when
gotten
we made.
burned already, and it's only
Right, we
been
already
2 weeks.
know with the hashtag we want Cody stuff.
Yeah.
Um
Hashtag Cody Crybabies.
yeah, and the booing, the funny thing is though, you still hear cheers for The Rock though.
Yeah, you noticed that
When he
too, right?
goes
When
through
he came
his
out, there was a pop.
when he goes through his, like, finally, and then everybody's like
They're still
waiting and
singing along.
anticipating, they're still singing along, and he's like, "Sing along with The Rock is over."
Yeah.
He's gonna it's gonna I don't think he's ever gonna get rid of that part.
hmm
I
Well,
think he
okay.
has to totally change the whole he would have to totally change his whole shtick in order
Well,
for it
so
to
we're gonna
totally
get to
change.
that.
Yeah.
I do
So,
want to talk more about that, but we do
yeah.
need to
Yeah.
also get
So,
our other SmackDown thoughts
yeah,
in
yeah,
first.
let's
So,
go to
what was
Smack.
your overall takeaways from SmackDown? Because again, I know we want to talk about The Rock and the
Right,
Bloodline, and we will, because I have a
right,
lot to say about it too.
right.
But as far as SmackDown's concerned, what was your takeaways from?
Um, it was it was interesting. I thought, I mean, there was nothing wrong with it. I just kind of, again, it's just the
We knew
matches.
everybody knew what we were waiting for. Like
Yeah,
there
I
wasn't
mean,
really much else.
the matches, the whole thing about the signing of Braun Breaker was great, though. I
Yes,
thought
I was
that was
very
like,
happy about that.
I by the way, I loved the Steiners when I was younger,
Hmm
and the fact that the dog face gremlin's son
Yeah,
is literally in WWE is like, has me
I, I
stoked.
I'm gonna
And the
pretty much say
nephew of
this.
the nephew of Big Papa Pump. I mean,
I'm gonna
that's
say this now,
amazing.
and it's probably because we're never gonna see him again.
Yeah,
Anyway, he's
yeah,
the next in terms of in the ring. Out of the ring, I'm not talking about, but in the ring,
right.
he's the next Brock Lesnar. There's no doubt in my mind
He
with the
could
way
be.
I think he is.
Well, let's
He's
let's
got the
hold off on
power.
that for,
But he also has this. He has something that Lesnar. Oh, he kind of had, but the speed from Braun Breaker is insane. 23 miles an hour
he
bouncing
also
off
has a
the
little
ring.
more personality than
He
Brock.
does, which is true. Because if you remember,
Brock had like no. Brock
well,
was like a rock out
well,
there.
because Paul Heyman was his
Right,
personality,
but they
really.
the
Until
reason
I liked Cowboy
they
Brock
had to
though.
put Heyman with him because he was horrible on the mic.
Yeah, but he got better. I liked his Cowboy Brock character. I thought that was fun, but
It was way too stiff for me. I'm sorry.
well,
It was never going to be like, phenomenal.
Right.
Yeah.
But again, I mean, I know we shouldn't really be, but
Yeah.
I know with everything happening, we'll limit how much we talk about him.
Yeah,
So,
I don't want to.
okay, then we'll jump right to the Bloodline story because
Yeah.
I
Because it was
actually
really
agree with
nothing.
you. And actually, you pretty much kind of read my mind in terms of what I'm thinking
Uh,
with this Hollywood Rock situation. Now, look, Hollywood Rock to me is one of the most entertaining heels you can have. I
yeah.
truly believe that. I mean, you look at the Sacramento Kings music or the you know, talking about Toronto, and those were fun back in the day. Do I think it could still be entertaining now? Yes. I will clarify. I was very entertained by the segment. I thought it was funny. It was kind of surreal. I mean, to think I never thought I'd see it again. Here's my problem with this version of The Rock. Now, I don't mind the heel turn. I really don't. Because in the end, I think what's happening here is Roman's going to use The Rock to try to protect his title. And I think that's what leads to Rock versus Roman at WrestleMania 41 is Rock's going to eventually realize if Rock's the reason Roman doesn't win, Roman's going to blame The Rock and Rock's going to finally come to his senses and be like, "Wow, you really used me," you know. And then it'll lead to a WrestleMania 41 match cuz one thing we can definitely say about Roman, he's one of the best manipulators
Right.
in WWE. He did it with the Usos, he did it with Jay, Jimmy, kind of going to be
Right.
doing that with Solo, and I think that's what's going to happen with The Rock. Here's my
Mm-hmm.
problem with this version of The Rock being in the Bloodline. You look at everybody else in the Bloodline, minus Jimmy, it's a very serious tone. Obviously, Roman just wants to handle his business. You see that every time he comes out. He's all business. Solo, I
Okay.
have seen that. It's very entertaining. I think you guys
Yeah.
should check that out.
Yeah. Definitely check that out for
We'll
sure.
leave a link in the description for that video.
Yes. Yes.
Um,
Definitely.
Vinny, you just send that to the chat and I'll add that later.
Okay.
My point being with this whole storyline, I want to get back to what I was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Roman, Solo, and Paul, strictly business. Jimmy's Jimmy. Jimmy's doing his own thing.
Right.
I don't think this version of The Rock makes sense for the bloodline. I
Mm-hmm.
think The Rock we were kind of expecting after the kickoff show was Rock was going to be another version of Roman, very serious, bloodline business first, really not going to be doing the joking around thing very much. I know that's what The Rock is famous for, but
Right.
I don't know. Just to me, it doesn't make a lot of sense. I mean, again, like you said, we have to wait and see how it progresses because right
Yeah.
now
I mean, we do
there's
have to wait. I mean,
there's
it's
a lot that's still to happen. But I think the other thing too, I'm a little disappointed with in The Rock was I, I I had goosebumps when The Rock began to raise his hand to throw the one up. He
mm-hmm.
didn't do it correctly.
He put an L
He
up.
put an L up. I don't know if he's trying to allude to
I
something or
noticed that.
what,
I
but
noticed that when he put that up, I'm like, was
I'm
he
like,
trying to tell
bro,
Utah that they were a bunch of losers, Salt Lake?
I don't know. I hope
Mm-hmm.
we can get an explanation for that. But if he messed that up, that's embarrassing. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I love The Rock. He's one of my favorites of all time, top two
Mm-hmm.
for me.
Right.
If you're messing that up, that
Yeah.
concerns me a little bit. I
Like
know it's not huge, but come
like I
on. I
said,
mean,
I'm not a fan. And of course I'm going to watch how it goes. I'm just not a fan of this version of the heel Rock.
but you know what? You have
But
to
I know
admit
they
though.
can't go. I know they can't go back to that because you don't have the polarizing figure or the figure like Hogan when
But
they
you have to
turned him.
admit one thing though. He does in his promo though. Aside from the joking around, of course, which obviously we
Mhm.
know is coming, he made
Right.
some very good points in his promo that I did like.
What about the
I
Utah
do want to
Jazz?
take away
Yes,
the
he did make a good point.
exactly. So I do want to take away some positives because I don't want to make it sound like I'm just hating on the whole thing because I feel like there's still some good potential for this. He talks. My favorite part about that promo, and I think this would have worked even if we went with the other version that I was just talking about.
Mhm.
You had a dream match in your hand, a match that we've wanted for
Mhm.
ages, and you pretty much pissed that away.
Okay, but I have an argument to that though.
Go ahead.
What happens when the winner of the what does the winner of the Royal Rumble get to do?
He picks his opponent.
Okay.
But if you
So
remember, though, you
how
can't forget,
does
though, Cody was willing to move his match. Don't
yeah,
forget about that. You
that's
can't forget
true,
about that.
but um I don't think that was like if he was like deceived or like I know he wasn't. I know it's like more, but they're making it seem like, Cody was deceived by The Rock, so that it was supposed to be like it was more of a selfish thing for the bloodline.
Hmm.
Um, but if he was forced to give up his spot, like in a deceiving kind of way, wouldn't you think he would have chosen
Well, so here's the issue.
Roman Reigns anyway?
I don't think the WWE was expecting the backlash that it got, or at least if they did, I don't think they were. I don't think they were expecting it the way that it happened. I mean, the fact that they were trending for like a week straight about the
Right.
backlash about Cody not winning.
Yeah.
In a way, it's
Mhm.
kind of WWE's fault too, because I still think, and obviously it didn't matter because he got hurt. I still think Punk should have won. Um, Me personally, but you make a good point though. You do, because Cody was always going to pick Roman. We
Right.
we know that, but I think WWE also kind of wants you to forget in a way about that promo where Cody said, "I'm moving my own goalpost," and then he
Yeah.
leaves the spotlight for The Rock. I
Yeah.
think WWE kind of wants you to forget it. You know how they like to do that. They'll If there's something that they don't like
Yeah.
I hate to go back to Brock Lesnar, but they pretty much just deleted his history and it's like it never happened. I
Right.
think that's kind of what WWE wants you to do with that promo. But in terms of storyline based, again, we could disagree with what The Rock said, but in the end, The Rock, I still think he made the right point there. He's like, you wanted this match, and now you don't. You've wanted this match for years, and now you don't want it. I get what you're saying, Vinny, from a outsider's perspective, but from storyline based heel Rock, it
Yeah.
makes sense for him to say that. I really, I think that's
I mean,
truly. Go
it
ahead.
it it does. It does, to a point where, yeah, you're saying, yeah, I agree with that. But man, I just think that, you know, I don't know. The winner of the Royal Rumble gets to choose,
Well, yeah, that's an obvious.
and he obviously was going to choose Roman.
He was going to choose
So
Roman. He just chose not to do it at Mania
they
first.
could have done they could have done the Roman Rock match. And I know WrestleMania is the grandest stage of them all.
Hmm.
They could have done it at another place.
Roman Rock.
Yeah,
Uh, I've heard a lot of people say that.
you know.
It's hard to
That's what I
say.
but
If
I
this
know but I
is,
know WrestleMania is huge, obviously.
especially WrestleMania 40, this is going to be the biggest one ever. Or at least that's how it's being hyped up. It does. I will admit though, it does create some long-term telling if they do want this match at WrestleMania 41.
Right.
So again, I don't want to sound like I'm hating on everything WWE's doing, because in the end, I want to see how
No, it's
things play
great.
out.
It's great.
And
This is great. It's a great time to be a WWE fan.
exactly. And you know what? And if there's
I'm
one
not
thing
trying to
Triple H is
poo-poo
good
that.
at, if there's one thing Triple H has been good at, playing the crowd, thinking you think it's going to go one way and then it takes a complete 180. For all
This
we
is the
know, next week The Rock could be like, you know what, screw you, and then he turns on Roman. You
and I
just don't know. It's very unpredictable.
Since we are a pro wrestling show, I hate to bring up the other brand, but this is what separates the WWE from everything else. AEW, TNA, it's the storytelling.
Yes,
AEW storytelling is, unfortunately, I
it's
mean, I wish it
they're
was
more
better,
based
but
to me.
it's so basic.
Well, to me,
It's
because
so
AEW is
predictable.
more built around the match types themselves.
Yeah.
That's why I can never get into it.
But the matches are good though.
They are good, but it's, I don't know, the storytelling is what
The
I
storytelling is
care
what
more.
brings everybody in. I get
I'd
it.
rather have a great story and a average match than have no story and a great
Yeah,
match.
but you can't tell me that I mean, go back in the day, Brock Lesnar versus Goldberg. The story was and the match was even worse.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, that's just one bad example,
Yeah.
but there's been others
Oh yeah,
in the
there's definitely been
WWE
others, but
where,
that
you know,
is the big one
but
that comes
they've
to
had more
mind.
hits than misses, and I get it. I mean, look at the Becky Trish Stratus stuff. That was
Yeah,
brilliant.
it
And the
was.
match was even better.
Yeah.
That's probably going to go down as one of the biggest, the top matches in WWE history.
hmm Yeah. It's you know
You
what?
know,
I don't think that's a bold take. I actually agree with
yeah.
you there. That story had
So
a great build up. It puts Becky
and
over, even though she
and
was
granted,
already pretty much
I was
over.
saying I was even saying, hey, it's going a little too long. But then they kept like turning it around again,
Yeah.
and it actually. The reason, and I saw a video of Trish actually doing an interview. She wanted to get Zoe out there. She wanted to get Zoe over.
Yes. And she, in
And
a way, did.
she did a decent job, but Zoe's
Yeah.
got to take it. Zoe's
Zoe's
got to
got to
take
do it
the
herself
ball
too.
and do it herself, now. But
I
anyway,
agree.
we go back to, you know, the thing I don't like, the other thing I would like to see The Rock do is bring along a younger wrestler.
And that's interesting that you say that
Does he
because
does he take his daughter to the next level,
not
or does
yet.
his daughter not want to
I
have
think
that yet?
I think she has. I don't want you. I don't want to rush her.
Right.
Here's here's what I thought this bloodline match was going to be between Rock and Roman. The rumor was if this match was happening, The Rock was going to have his own bloodline to come with him, and I think it was obvious Jay would have had to be one of those guys. The other two would have to remain to be seen. We don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I know there's a lot of
There's a
family that's not in WWE but is wrestling. Do you let them make their debuts that way?
right.
There's plenty of routes that could have gone down. We still may see that at 41. We don't know yet.
Right.
But yeah, there's still a lot of twists and turns that this
I
can
kind of
take.
want to see him take somebody other than one of his family members, though.
Yeah, but I
But
just don't think
I
it would
would think
make
like
sense.
who? Yeah, I
I don't
mean,
think it would make sense because it's built around the family tree.
I understand that, and that's I mean maybe that's something something that maybe another legend can do
Mhm.
eventually. But I always like to see the legends because if you think about it, Randy Orton now is considered a legend.
Yes,
Remember the old
future
Legend
Hall of
Killer stuff.
Famer.
He's got to do the same thing, and I know I'm going kind of ahead of myself here, but
Hmm.
he's got to kind of do the same thing now too because the thing I got out of the obviously the Trish interview is she works on getting a lot of these younger women,
Yes,
you know,
better.
ahead and
Yeah.
over. Whereas I don't see a lot of the older guys doing that,
Hmm.
and I'd like to see The Rock take
Well,
somebody
and
to the
it's
next level,
interesting because again, it goes back to what I was talking about earlier. Post Bloodline story,
We'll
you
see what
need
happens. I get it. I get it.
post Bloodline story though. You need to know who is next in line, just in WWE. I'm not talking about the family that could carry that torch. That's going to be a tall task. Does
Right.
Cody Rhodes have what it takes? Does Seth
Right.
Rollins have what it takes? Because we know Rollins. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. He's been doing this a long time. I know
Yeah.
he's still a young guy, but he ain't gonna be able to do it forever. So you
Right.
need to know: is Dominic gonna be the future heel that we think he can be?
Dom is great. By the way, everybody that hates Dom, that's what it's for. Dom is
That's the
great.
point.
Dom is
That's the
great.
point.
I don't Now there's rumors that when Ray comes back, there may be a Ray versus Dom too.
I don't know if I'd want to see. I'd rather see Ray versus Escobar. I think because Escobar was the one that put him in the hospital, right?
Yeah, Ray versus
So I'd
Escobar
rather see
would be
that. We
good,
already
but
got Ray versus Dom, so
yeah.
I don't know if I want to see that again.
Yeah, no,
But
I get that, but
so we're
we'll
gonna
see.
move it along to our final segment, the main event, if you will.
Hmm.
Elimination Chamber is coming up this Saturday. I am very disappointed because it's at 5 a.m. and I have to work at 7. I'm not going to be able
5
to watch
a.m.
the
is
whole thing.
tough, dude. It's
I,
that's
I'm
just and it's
I'm going to
5
say
a.m.
something that you may
Saturday
not.
morning.
Yes, I'm
Oh
going to say
God.
something you may not agree with,
Hmm.
and it's funny because actually that's not even 12 hours after SmackDown airs.
I know.
Um, a lot of people are going to. I'm going to get a lot of hate for this. I don't care. I hate international shows. I really do
Yeah, I mean,
because
I know where you're coming from. I just maybe that take.
I get.
I get it. I get it.
I do
You're
too.
gonna get people in the chat probably
I
killing
I
you for
get
that.
why WWE does it, and I will admit the international atmospheres are unmatched.
It's unbelievable.
It's
It's
unbelievable.
unbelievable
But
over there.
I'm sorry. The fact that you're asking me on the road to WrestleMania to wake up at 5 a.m. Call me spoiled. I do not care. I I hate it. I really like.
So are you trying to say maybe they should save like the international for like not such a big like not right before WrestleMania
Yes.
for something else.
Yes.
Okay,
I could. It's
that's a
one thing
different way
if
to put it, though. That's because some people may think like I hate all. I don't want people to
yeah,
think
because
that you
like
hate all
Money in the
international
Bank was
shows.
fun to watch.
Yeah,
In London,
Crown
Crown
Jewel's
Jewel,
not
and
not bad.
it's kind of lost its luster to me, but they're still entertaining because of the fact that they demand such
Yeah.
high expectations, having legends and big matches. So I
Hmm.
don't necessarily hate them as much.
Right.
But like I said, on the road to WrestleMania, you risk losing a lot of viewership. And
Right. Right.
you look at this match card, I
Hmm.
feel like it's also kind of underwhelming for the people of Australia that are going.
Yeah.
So let's get into it. But I
There's one
again,
match I'm definitely not looking forward to, just so you know.
all right. So let's start first before we get to any matches.
Okay.
The Bloodline storyline could make some progress because this is in no particular order
What do
because
they
we're
got? A
gonna
week? There's only a week. It's next week, right? Next
yeah.
weekend. Okay.
So there's no particular order yet for the match card. I'm just reading off of this
Only
website with the match card.
it's only
And
4 things going on, right?
well, technically five, because we're gonna start off with this non-match that's gonna happen. The Grayson
Oh.
Waller effect.
Oh
The
God.
guest hosts
Okay.
are gonna be Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
Rumor is The Rock is gonna be there too. I don't know
Okay.
how true it is. I hope the show opens with this, so at least I can watch this before I go to
Yeah.
work.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not really going to ask for a prediction here. Just what do you kind of expect? I think it's going to be more or less just a bridgeway because I should have mentioned this when we were talking about the Bloodline story. I
Hmm.
think Friday's segment's the last thing we see until after
Right.
the Chamber. I don't think you're going to hear anything else Bloodline related
Yeah.
until after. This is probably the most you're going to get. It's probably just going to be Cody
I,
and Seth hyping something up.
I think
Maybe
that
The
would be
Rock's
kind of
there for a promo.
yeah. I just
I don't know. What do you think?
I think it's I think it's if it doesn't have The Rock or Roman, it's going to be boring to me because I'm not
Well,
gonna.
Roman's not gonna be there. I
Yeah, I'm
think that's
I'm
all but
not gonna.
done.
I'm not like Grayson Waller's. I mean, I like Grayson Waller. He's good. I'm just not. We've already seen this though. We've seen them in the ring at the same time talking, and unless they're gonna bring somebody out to like somebody else out to help them or
Hopefully it's Jay, because then it would really catch.
then it's different. But there's got to be something to this other than just them coming out to the
And I'm
Grayson
sure
Waller
it
thing.
is. We might be
So,
looking at this thinking it's
but
nothing,
on face value, not looking forward to it. I'll watch it because something could happen. If
and
nothing
that's the thing.
happens, I'm going to count it as a disappointment.
And that's the thing. We're looking at this now thinking, all right, we really can't be too much to this. If Roman's not going to be there,
Yeah, the
The
face
Rock
value
might
thing
be
doesn't
there.
doesn't excite me.
But
Doesn't
if
excite
we could get a situation where Jay or Sami Zayn, I prefer Jay, but Jay or maybe Jay and Sami Zayn come out and say, yeah, you know what, we want in, we want to help you, Cody.
me.
Then you might catch me a little bit. Then I'll be like, all right, you know what, maybe there's more to this.
Right.
I'll be excited. But otherwise, really not a whole lot else we might be able to take from this. Again, we'll have to
Yeah.
wait and see
We'll wait
for
and
those
see. We'll wait and
willing
see.
to wake up
My
that early. Or
prediction is somebody comes out though, and
yes, and I'm
yeah,
gonna say Jay.
that's my prediction.
So I'll start with the first match. Um, undisputed tag team match, championship match between the Judgment Day and Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate. I think the Judgment Day win. I know that they want to push Pete Dunne back
This
to where he was in NXT, but I don't think this is
Yeah,
the place
this is the match
it's gonna
I'm not
happen.
looking forward to. This is the
There's
one that I'm just like I'm indifferent about. I don't care.
It's predictable because right now there's really no tag teams out there that are a threat to the Judgment Day.
I know once they split Jay and Jimmy up, I think,
That was it.
and then RK Bro's gone.
Hmm.
Um, there's just nobody.
Who else
You
is
know,
out there?
the only thing I could think of
Street
is that the
Profits.
Street Profits.
I wouldn't mind seeing that,
Um,
but you'd have two heels going against each other. It
yeah,
would
but
just
are they really heels though? Going against
yes,
Karrion
because
Cross
they're
and
not the partying.
AOP?
They're not the partying type that they were
I know,
before.
but they're not. But they still get cheered though. I mean, I
That
know I
doesn't
know
make
heels
them.
get cheered,
Yeah, heels get
but
cheered.
but I
Cheered. That's
think
my
I
point.
think Karrion Cross and AOP are the big time heels.
Well, yeah. I don't know. There's really nobody else out there right now. I mean, if Pete Dunne
Like
and Tyler Bate win,
New Day's like
they're
I
not
think
winning again.
New Day's gotten so old.
Yeah.
I love Kofi and I love Xavier, but I just think
Without Big E, they're not.
without Big E, I don't think
And
they're
that's why I
as
don't
good.
think they break up. If Big E ever does come back, I hope he does. He looks like he's in good health from what we
By the
saw
way,
kick off.
would you
I don't
would,
I don't think they break up.
would you want to see one of those guys turn heel, turn on each other? Would that make
Mm,
it more interesting for you? Because it would
Post
make it
Big E
way more
return.
interesting for me.
Yeah, post
And
Big
then
E
Big E,
return.
and then Big E come in and try to like figure
Yeah,
out
and
what
it
side he
would
wants
probably
to be.
make the most sense for it to be Cody. Kofi.
Kofi, yeah.
Kofi.
Because
Kofi would probably make the most sense.
Kofi's never really had a heel turn, has he?
No, he has not. I mean, well, technically, the New Day was heel when they first started, but
They were.
they were like a goofy heel. They weren't like
Yeah, didn't they go out
bad
against
guys.
didn't they go out against, was it DX or
No, the Dudley Boys.
the Dudley Boys? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, they and then I think they even like went out against, I think they like started saying stuff to like Stone Cold, and I'm like when they would bring back Stone Cold and stuff, I think they did that. I think they
Yeah.
like did that, and they were pretty funny, but
Yeah, I
and then
agree.
they got their
But
butts handed to them, so
final prediction: Judgment Day wins. You agree?
yeah, I'm gonna agree with that 100%.
All
There's
right.
no doubt in my mind.
So now we have the men's elimination chamber. Now we know who all 6 competitors are.
Are we?
Now
Is that the next match, or is it the?
there's no
Do
order.
we
I'm
know?
just
Oh, okay.
reading it
I
off
thought
how
you'd
I
want to go
find
over
it.
the women. I thought you want to go over the women's match
Well,
first.
because they're still missing one more person. So I'll start with the men's match because I think this one's kind of predictable
Right.
too. I hope it goes on a different turn, but
Oh, I
it's
could tell
still
you who's winning the women's match. By the way, I don't even
I
need the
do.
other
Yeah, I
person.
can too.
Yeah.
Drew McIntyre, Randy Orton, Bobby Lashley, LA Knight, Kevin Owens, and Logan Paul.
Oh God, that was the worst. By the way, that
That
was
was
like the
horrible.
worst call that
Yeah.
having Logan Paul in that match was
The
the
only
worst.
reason they're
He's
doing it is
not going to
because he
win the
can do.
match.
No, we know he's not, but they know he's going to get some viral jump off
Yeah.
the pod
I just
thing.
call me crazy, but I don't see the
I
whole
don't
Logan
either.
Paul interest. I'm not one of those people that like goes crazy over Logan Paul, and
I don't either.
maybe because I'm not like 15, but
Yeah.
you know, I don't
I'm
see
21. I'll
the
tell you the same thing. I
yeah,
agree with you.
I don't see the I mean, yeah, the guy got arrested in France and they made him go viral and he started doing a bunch of crazy stuff on the internet. Okay. All right.
Yeah. Congrats, I guess.
I'll play along. No problem.
But I think Drew wins this match. It's so obvious that's the direction that they want to head in.
Yeah.
I'll change it up a little bit though, because I think you're also going to say Drew, right?
Um Given the I would love to say LA Knight, but or Randy Orton, but I think Randy is kind of just in this match to kind of add the star power to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have to say Drew for sure.
I'm going to say Drew. If I had to pick who I would want to win, if I really had
Mhm.
to, if I was in charge, if I was Triple H,
Right.
I'd go down a different route. Go with something a little more unpredictable, like say a Randy Orton or an LA
Yeah.
Knight. I'd
I
prefer
would
LA
love to
Knight.
see that.
LA
Yeah,
Knight will make the most
sure.
sense because he's so deserving of a title right now.
I'm interested
But
to see where they go with LA Knight because I don't see a clear path anymore for him.
yeah, exactly. And that's
It's
what
not
kind of
as clear
scares
with
me.
all this Roman Rock and Roman Cody and all this other stuff
Seth
going on. I
Drew.
don't see Seth Drew. I don't see LA Knight where LA Knight fits in the whole picture.
And it's a shame because LA Knight, like I said, is probably the most deserving
And you don't
of
want to
this
lose
bunch. And you lose
the
that luster,
fans. Well, and you don't
LA
want to
Knight's
lose the
done for.
fans either because the fans are gonna, they'll turn on you
They'll
too.
check out.
They'll be like, okay, so what happened to LA Knight? Why is he not being,
Mhm.
pushed? Um,
So I'll ask you this. Since we are both convinced Drew is winning, if
right.
Triple H does decide to throw us a curveball,
Yeah.
who else wins? Who would make the most sense in this situation?
If they're gonna throw us a curveball, the biggest curveball would be Logan Paul winning the whole thing.
Oh God, don't put that thought in my head.
I mean, wouldn't it be a shock?
Oh yeah, it'd be a
Would
shock in the
you
worst way possible.
and then you see a Logan Seth rematch?
Ugh, no,
And
please
then
no.
let's just say Logan beats Seth and he's a
Vinny,
dual
if
title
you are
holder.
right, we are canceling this show.
Yeah, I just I don't want
I
to
will
see it,
put the
but
show on the line for
I
this.
don't want to see it, but I can see them going in kind of a weird direction. I don't see them going Kevin Owens.
No, Kevin Owens wouldn't make any
I
sense.
don't see them going. I mean, I guess I can see them going Lashley, but the way their track is going,
That probably won't
I
happen.
think it's more towards like AOP and Karrion Cross.
I think
And
it's
by the way, where is Karrion Kross in all this like title? Are they gonna ever push him or?
I don't know. I thought they were gonna push him when he made his debut, and that didn't
Yeah,
really
that's what I
happen. When he
thought too.
stared
I think
down Roman, and nothing came of it.
but
But if I had to pick somebody that would throw a wrench in this, I actually really wouldn't be surprised if it was LA Knight because
yeah,
it would come out of left field because nobody thinks he's gonna win. And
yeah.
LA Knight obviously has some beef with the Bloodline, so there could be some involvement there. You know, or same thing with Randy Orton too. Randy Orton,
Yeah,
I
Randy
think,
Orton has a huge beef with the
yeah. So
Bloodline.
if Randy Orton gets
And that
involved,
story can't. That story is not over yet.
that story's not over yet.
Yeah.
So I think Randy Orton actually would probably make the most sense in a way, or LA Knight. I think you could go either down either of those routes. The
I
Drew
don't
thing's
like
getting
seeing.
old.
I just don't like seeing two faces face each other. But
I actually disagree. I prefer it that way because you know you're going to get a fair and
I
square
think
match.
of the two, though, Randy makes the most sense because he can do that switch just like
Oh yeah, no problem. Heel
automatic.
Randy's more to
He's
me
the
is always
Viper.
going to be the best.
Yeah. So.
So moving along,
Yeah.
the next match would be, I guess, the women's match.
Yeah.
Becky Lynch, Bianca, Liv Morgan, Tiffany Stratton, Naomi, and one more. I forget who is in the qualifying match tomorrow. I don't remember off the top of my head. Because it's so predictable. In my
I
opinion,
know.
who
Well,
wins
I
this
know
one?
because of. I know they took someone out. They took shots. Shotzi was out.
Because
I
of
don't think she was.
injury.
I don't think she was going to win that match anyway.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I think that, and this is going to surprise you. I told you I know who's going to win, but I didn't tell you like it's going to be an obvious person.
Yes.
Because I know they're trying to push this person big time.
Okay, so who is it?
I think Stratton wins.
Really?
Yes, I think they're pushing her. She is number one. Have you watched her wrestle?
Yes, I have. I watched her match on Friday.
She can do things that I don't think like. I mean, she's amazing.
I
Don't you
agree.
think? Like as far as like high flying, as far as like the physicality, even as far as like the athleticism. I mean, she's an ex like, isn't she like an ex gymnast or something or
Something
something like that?
along those lines. Yeah, like
But
a bodybuilder or something. Not a
um,
bodybuilder, like a power lifter.
yeah, but I just think that she's best suited um to face Rhea and actually give although and Becky, give Becky the big time. I don't see Bianca.
No.
Liv, the only reason that people would say Liv is because she has to finish her revenge on Rhea.
Which I'm sorry. I like Liv Morgan. I really
Yeah.
do.
You
The
mean
character's just
MJF's
not.
girlfriend? MJF's
Yeah.
girlfriend.
It doesn't make. I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
at least with like say Alexa Bliss, somebody who was also of a
Yeah.
similar height.
Yeah.
She had a different kind of like fire in her
hmm
that it made sense when she would
And
win matches.
when
It
they
was
turned her like when the may his soul rest in peace, Bray Wyatt, when
yeah.
they turned her into like that character, although it did get old after a while.
Yeah,
When
she could fight with the men, and not many women could say they can do that.
she was vicious.
Yeah.
Like
So,
yeah.
like the problem with Liv Morgan is I don't see that fire to where it makes sense for her to beat a Rhea Ripley or yeah, it just doesn't make sense to me. I
Right.
don't know,
I mean,
but
eventually we're going to get to Jade Cargill versus Rhea.
yes,
Eventually,
and I
that's going
can't
to be
wait
the
for that,
match.
and that's why I
It's-
think Becky Lynch goes because a lot of people are going to go and think, I don't want another Becky title run, or some people might. I
right,
don't. I'm not going
right,
to generalize
right,
everybody's opinion, but I
right.
think Rhea versus Becky is all but a must now because of you already alluded to it at the kickoff, so it wouldn't make sense for it to not
And I saw
happen.
the promo the promo with her and Becky and the
Yeah,
whole thing where
the
Rhea like kind
she'd
of
never been
held
in the
up.
chamber.
Well, yeah, and Rhea held up when she saw Becky in the corner and she didn't really like go after her. She wanted to go after Nia.
Yeah.
I
So
think that makes the most sense, but I'm telling you right now, I wouldn't be surprised if Tiffany Stratton wins this match.
so okay, and we'll lock that in as our official pick.
Yeah.
I think the whole point behind Becky winning is it puts Rhea over because you look at Rhea's title run this last year. To me, it's been a joke. It really
Yeah.
has. It hasn't.
Fought anybody really. Yeah, she hasn't.
She hasn't really fought in anybody that make you question, oh, maybe this is the one.
Yeah.
The only person I think from over the last year, there's two people I think that would have made sense if done properly.
Mm-hmm.
Raquel Rodriguez, if they had changed her character up,
Yeah,
but that never
that whole
happened.
character was like
Her whole
I think
character
that
is
was
my
the
back is
remnants.
strong.
I want to say that was the remnants of Vince that
Yeah,
had to
so
have been.
I hope they
So,
rebrand her soon because I'd
yeah.
like to see her get a title run. The
Yeah.
only other one that makes sense to me, and you might disagree, although I might have explained it to you already because I know you're a regular listener of the Busted Open podcast,
Uh-huh.
was Zelina Vega down in Puerto Rico. Does it make sense logically? No. But
No,
because it was in her home territory, I can't say country,
I know.
because, Zelina's actually a professional wrestler. If you can have Bad Bunny go out and win against Damian Priest, why not
Right.
just have her win the match, hold the title for at least a week so
Yeah.
that she could take that title to her father's grave? Because for those who don't know, her father unfortunately passed away in 9/11.
Mm-hmm.
And this is all from Bubba Ray Dudley, by the way. This was his
Right.
point, and I just agree
Right.
with it.
Right.
And you know what? At least then, when Rhea takes the title back from her, Rhea
Right.
become that much more hated, and that's what you want. So I think WWE really dropped the ball on that one. I know it.
But do
Go
they
ahead.
do that whole like I hold the title for a week because they used to do it a lot back in the day.
Yeah,
Do they? I don't see them doing that anymore.
and that's my issue with this because that's what WWE's turned into. Why does it have to be long title runs? It just doesn't make sense to me.
It's been long title runs for the you know how
It's a couple
I
years
mean
now.
a couple of
It
years.
started
Yeah.
with Brock Lesnar.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know. Those are the only two, in my opinion, that
Now
were the most
here's
heated.
another question for you. What's happened to Bianca? We were
Fell off
put
the
we
rails.
were pushed Bianca in our face for
She might
months.
be, honestly, the perfect example of somebody who peaked too early
I don't know, man. It might be, but
because they gave her
we're
the title
thinking of
run
her right
immediately.
now. We're thinking of her right now as an afterthought.
I agree. I mean, the best
And
route
that
they
I
can
don't think
go
that's
for her,
fair. I think she's good.
the best route they can go down for her right now is a match versus Jade Cargill WrestleMania.
That would
That'd be
be
an amazing match. You'd have to admit, two of the most powerful women in the industry right
yeah,
now.
that would be good.
I think
That'd be good.
I'd be interested
I
in
mean,
it.
if you
So
looked at did you see the spot at SmackDown when she was signing her contract?
yes,
Um, who was she? She was, but I think they're gonna go her and Tiffany Stratton though,
I don't want
because
to see that yet.
did you see that whole like thing between her and Tiffany?
Yeah, I did. I still want to see her work with the proven talent first because I'm not saying
Yeah,
Tiffany Stratton's not proven, but
yeah,
she's just starting. She's
yeah.
just starting. She needs to earn her way to the top, and right now I think
But Becky, I think already put her over though in NXT
yeah,
a
NXT though.
bit.
She's got to do that on the main roster now
Well, yeah,
too,
I know, but I
because
think
not everybody
Becky did a
watches
lot for.
NXT. So
Yeah, that's true.
I again, my hope for Bianca is we get a good match versus Jade Cargill,
Right.
but then after that, it's hard to say.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
we'll move along to the main
Moving on.
event.
Yep.
At least I think it's going to be the main event. Nia Jax, Rhea Ripley. I know we
Oh
know why
boy.
they're doing this because it's in
Uh,
her home country, Rhea's home
yeah.
country.
Yeah.
But
If
against Nia
Rhea's
Jax,
not losing this match, by the way, just
no,
so you know.
Rhea's not losing this match. They're trying to hype it up as if because Nia's been completely beating the you know what out of her the
Yeah.
last couple weeks.
Well,
But
Nia should be beating the you know what out of Rhea if
I
just look at the power that Nia has compared to Rhea.
exactly. But
And
I
that's
think
saying a
I
lot.
think we both know the outcome.
Yeah. Yeah.
My hope for this match is Rhea wins. She gets her moment, and Becky comes down, I guess, stares her down. There's got to be something to this other than it's just a match in her home country because it wouldn't make sense for Nia to win unless Becky wins. Then maybe it'd make kind of sense, but it'd be stupid
Mm-hmm.
um, if Nia wins. But I don't know. I mean, is there really much else we can look forward to for this match? Like I said, I truly think Australia is kind of getting screwed over with this match card. There's
Yeah.
not much to really look forward
I
to.
I just I'm looking more forward than at this match in general. I'm not even looking at Rhea going forward. I'm looking at Nia going forward because
Right.
so there's options here for her. Okay. Now I know Nia said, and I don't remember when she said it, but I think she had said that she doesn't want to be Not that she doesn't want to be associated, but she wants to kind of be on her own. She doesn't want to be like associated with the bloodline per se.
Yes.
I just think that if she joined the bloodline, like if she was in there with them,
With Naomi,
with, well,
she was on the family tree, so you can't say she's not in the bloodline.
I
She
mean,
married into it.
yeah, you could make that argument of like, maybe they have some kind of rivalry. I don't know, but I just think that Nia she can't put off the inevitable of of who she really is. And she is part of that bloodline.
Yeah.
She's part of it. And but you could also, but then where do you go with her? Like, who do you have her fight after
Well,
this?
supposedly that her and Ava Raine want to have a story together, so there
So
could
her
be
and her
something
cousin.
there. Yeah, her and her cousin. Because
So
if you
you're
think
going
about
back
it,
to the bloodline again.
yes, because if you
Basically.
think about it, The Rock was the one that brought her into WWE. She wanted to go to WWE, but she felt like because of her size, they wouldn't want her. And The Rock said, "Come with me. We'll take care of this." And The Rock
Right.
pretty much helped her get into the WWE. So
Right.
if you think about it, there could be something there. Ava Raine could simply be like, "Well, my father might have brought you into this business. I'll take you out of this business." Something like that.
Right.
I think I'd be invested in that. I think that'd be fun to watch. But I don't know. I mean, what else can you do with Nia Jax? There's really not much. I mean, the power thing, obviously, that's her character. But after Rhea, I mean, you really want to see a match with her and Bianca or her? I mean, Jade
No, I
Cargill would
don't
be
want to see.
her and Jade Cargill would be kind of cool because of the way
That
the
would be
Royal
the
Rumble
only
went. But
match. That would be the only match that I would want to see is her versus Jade Cargill.
yeah, but
Really, honestly, like I don't want to see her and Liv. I don't
no,
want to see her and I don't even want to see her and Tiffany Stratton just because
no,
they're both kind of heels.
yeah, it wouldn't make sense.
I wouldn't mind seeing her and Naomi. Even though like, I mean, you could probably make something out of that. And her and Becky's done. That's
Yes,
done. That's been done. Now, who's waiting in the wings, who's coming back, who's like, maybe she's a little further away, but we got to look down the road. She hurt her knee.
I don't know why I'm blanking out.
All hail the queen.
Oh, Charlotte Flair.
Right.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, she's waiting in the wings, because when Charlotte comes back, she's got to have an opponent. She's got to
Yeah,
have
of
a
course.
storyline. And then what do you think about, when Bailey's done with, when Bailey's
With her
done with Damage
story.
Control? Where do you put her? Where do you put her in the women's division?
Well, like I said,
That's another
I
thing. I mean,
trust.
there's so much stuff going on
But you know what though?
that
When you have Triple H running the
yeah,
show,
that's true.
you know he's got something up his sleeve. We may
And
not know now,
the
but we will know
the
soon enough.
best thing that happened to Triple H was the best thing because number one, he's been in bad storylines and he's been in good storylines.
And he's
And he
turned
knows how
bad
to tell.
storylines. He's
And
turned bad storylines into good storylines.
he's turned them into good ones.
My
Yes.
favorite example has to be when we had Roman and Brock at SummerSlam a couple years ago.
Right.
Everybody's thinking, "Oh, here we go again, another
Yeah.
Roman Reigns Brock Lesnar match." It ended up being one of the best matches in Roman's title reign. When Brock Lesnar came out in the tractor and flipped the ring,
that tractor was like, that was insane.
so that was living
insane.
proof. Triple H, in my opinion, set a tone. He
Yeah.
said, "You know what? You
Yeah.
guys may not be excited for this match, but I'm gonna make you remember this match, and that is gonna go down while it's not technically a part of the history anymore as one of the best."
It was
What the heck was the name of the match? The count to 10, not false count anywhere. Oh come on, this is killing me.
was it no one? No, I was gonna say
No, when you
like,
had to count them down to 10.
what's
I
they call that?
Oh my god, this is embarrassing.
Well, they used to call it an I give match or
No, no.
uh,
This
oh
is
shit.
gonna. I'm actually genuinely angry. I can't remember the
We
name.
need to look it up.
Google it, please, because
Yeah.
I'm losing it.
Okay. I'm gonna Let's see.
This is actually driving me nuts.
Was this? Oh,
Where
wait.
you have to count to 10. If they're on the ground for 10, it's over. This is embarrassing. WWE fans are watching this and thinking,
I
oh,
know they're probably thinking like we're.
this is embarrassing.
Was it? It wasn't. No, it wasn't WrestleMania. That was when he.
No, it was
That was when he
SummerSlam.
won.
SummerSlam 2021
SummerSlam.
or 2022. Was 2022? I think it was 22.
SummerSlam.
Ugh.
Shoot, I can't remember. Oh, here we go. Tractor.
What was the name of the match? Like the type of match.
Damn it.
We should. I'm genuinely upset by this.
Hold on. I'm doing my I'm efforting here.
We're definitely gonna have to take this out after.
Yeah, that's fine. Let's see. Last man standing.
Last man standing. Thank you.
Last man standing.
I am sorry.
I don't want to take that out. I don't want to take that out. That was kind of funny because neither one of us could figure that out.
Man, I thought I struggled during the 8 a.m. shows.
Last man standing. Last man standing.
But anyway, we're gonna wrap it up with that because I'm upset now.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
But
that's fine.
Again, we'll talk about Elimination Chamber next week, so you'll definitely want to tune in for that. We'll see how poorly our predictions age, and you know what? I genuinely do hope this show exceeds our expectations because right now my expectations aren't the highest, and I know yours aren't either. Hopefully, we could come out of this thinking, you know what, that was a good show, and even though it's gonna be at 5 a.m, we'll have to wait and see. But till next time, my name is Sean Carroll. That is Vinny Massical. We will see you next week on episode 3 of episode 3 of This Week in WWE on S&V Sports. Have a good one, everybody.
Take care, everybody.
No, don't do that.